you really want to hear about it, the first thing you probably want to know is what my speech is going to be about. I feel a little nervous about it, if you want to know the truth. That's a parody of J.D. Salinger's first sentence in his novel, The Catcher in the Rye, which is a big inspiration for me. You probably read the book in high school, maybe for an English class, or you've heard of the book as an American classic. It's an inspiration to me because it inspired me to be an aspiring novelist. And I've actually written a great chunk of manuscripts. And I'll go over how Salinger inspired me as a person and why he's so influential in American culture. Now, according to biography.com, updated on May 4th, 2021, Salinger actually dropped out of many different schools. He started at the McBurney School and then dropped out and actually went to a military school called Valley Forge. After Valley Forge, he decided to go back to college and attend New York University, only to transfer to Ursinus College and then end up at Columbia University, where he worked with a professor named Whit Burnett. And Whit Burnett helped him publish some short stories in a magazine called Story. When he did become popular, according to an article written by The Independent, written on January 28, 2010, the book sold 60 million copies. But despite the success and the fame he got from the book, he actually didn't like the fame and it ruined his private life. So after he got all this money from the book, he decided to live in a rural house in New Hampshire. And he literally wrote in his house all by himself in the latter days of his life. And it's believed he wrote 15 novels and he never showed them. He actually put them in a safe and he never published them. So what made this novelist inspirational to me? Well, like I said before, Salinger inspired me to be a novelist, and I found similarities to his life to mine. I was trying to find writing programs in the colleges that I previously went to. I actually went to UC Merced, UC Berkeley, and Chabot College before going here. And I was not satisfied with the writing programs at the time, and I felt confused and I felt a bit alone with my artistic pursuit. This confusion of what I want to do is connected to J.D. Salinger's main protagonist, whose name is Holden Caulfield. And I relate to Holden Caulfield a lot, as he's an angsty boy who also dropped out of many different schools and is confused on what to do with his life. The theme of Salinger's novel is about growing up. And the reason why it's called The Catcher in the Rye is because Holden imagines he's in a field of rye and there's a bunch of kids running around and he wants to catch them. He wants to catch them before they fall off the cliff. And this whole image in his head is actually a metaphor of growing up, where the kids falling off the cliff is the kids going from childhood to adulthood. And it expresses his apprehension of growing up as a person. And I find that we can all universally relate to that, as we all literally have to grow up someday, sooner or later. And it's an arduous process because you're in a spot where you don't really know what you want to do. You're still trying to find your identity in society. And I personally relate to his struggles in the novel. So, in conclusion, Salinger wrote a novel that was relevant even to this day. And I find similarities to Salinger's life to my life. And he's not a novelist that will be forgotten. So, if you really want to know how my Ohlone experience is going, I don't feel like getting into it if you want to know the truth.